4 York is proud to present YCIAA Basketball 88, the AA State Semifinals. Hello, everyone. I'm Bill Arnold, along with Chris Buff, and we are here at March Hall in Pottsville, Pennsylvania, as the Eastern Golden Knights are just about ready to do battle with the defenders from Warrior Run up at Section 4 up near the Williamsport area. Well, these two teams, Chris Buff, are very familiar with one another. They played at the very beginning of the state tournament a year ago, and the defenders came out on top 51-47.
That's right, Bill, and many of these players returned from both those teams from last year, and so they know what they're looking at.
Both these teams have had a fantastic year. Eastern is on a 17-1 run. Warrior Run is 26-4 under their first-year coach, Andy Kyle. Eastern, surprisingly, has become quite a second-half club, Chris.
Yeah, that's right, Bill, and I think if I was Coach Mark Eckert, I'd be a little concerned about that, because it's easy to fall into a false sense of security, feeling as though, you know, if you fall behind the first half, you can come back all the time, and sometimes when you get to this level of competition, that's tough to do.
Both these squads have very big front lines. A fellow by the name of Jarrett and Cook for Warrior Run, and of course John Robb and Ryan Smith for Eastern. Many feel that the front lines of these two teams will cancel themselves out, and the key to tonight's game could be the guard play.
Yeah, that's right. I think one of the big statistics that we're going to have to look at tonight is going to be turnovers, plus also the shooting from the perimeter of both guards.
Well, we're looking forward to it. One of these two teams will move on to the Hershey Arena on Saturday afternoon for the state championship. We'll be back for the starting lineups and to call tonight's semifinals in the state of Pennsylvania right after this. We are back at March Hall in Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Bill Arnold and Chris Buff, and we're just a moment or two away from the start of tonight's Eastern Final, the state semifinal in the AA division in the PIAA basketball rankings. We want to mention that Kevin Drawball and our good friend Craig Smith, Chris Buff, are vacationing, I understand, and somewhere in North Carolina. What a time to take some time off as they miss the state semifinals, but all indications are they'll be back Saturday should Eastern manage to get to the finals at Hershey Park.
That's right, so we're just basically fill-ins, I guess, Bill.
Fill-ins, you got it. But we're happy to be here, and an excellent crowd. First time I've seen the March Hall facility, and it is actually on the Pottsville Middle School campus. It's, if you can believe that, what a facility. There's a look at Eastern's road to the semifinal. And you can see Middleburg, Archbishop Kennedy, and then Annville, Cleona falling to the Golden Knights. Warrior Run beating Western Wayne, Delone Catholic, and Riverside to get here. I mentioned during our stand-up pregame, Chris Buff, that this squad is from, I think I said Section 4. Well, it's obviously District 4. And this is the battle of small towns, if you will, as the Warrior Run squad is from the small town of Turbotville, Pennsylvania, up in the Williamsport area. And, of course, Eastern is from Wrightsville, PA. And you can bet the fans here are wondering where those two squads are really located. We're going to have the public address announcer here any minute bring you fans in the York area the starting lineups for this evening's game. And, of course, for the Golden Knights, it will be a familiar five as Coach Mark Eckert sticks primarily with this group. First-year coach Andy Kyle with a veteran squad as well. And let's go now to courtside for the introduction of tonight's starting lineups.
Meeting the Eastern Golden Knights, District 3 champions. In a Class AA contest, Warrior Run presents tonight's game with a record of 26 wins and 4 losses. Eastern's record, 24 wins and 5 losses. Now let's meet the starting lineup for tonight's game. First, for the visitors, the Warrior Run defenders. At a guard, a 5'9" senior, number 24, Chris Higgins. At the the other guard, a 6'2" senior, number 23, John Cook. At center, a 6'6" senior, number 44, Randy Jarrett. At forward, a 6'4" junior, number 33, Tim Cook. And the other forward, a 6'1" junior, number 31, Brian Powell. And the head coach of the defenders, Mr. Andy Kyle. And now for the Eastern Golden Knights. At a guard, a 5'10" freshman, number 22, Paul Abel. At the other guard, a 6-foot junior, number 40, John Knob. At center, a 6'7" senior, number 52, John Robb. At forward, a 6'5" junior, number 42, Ryan Smith. And at forward, a 6'3" senior, number 44, Kirk Rickard. And the head coach of the Golden Knights, Mr. Mark Eckert.
Well, Chris Buck, the crowd is excited, and so are we, as one of these teams will advance to the state title on Saturday at the Hershey Sports Arena. And I know Cable 4 is planning on being there if just these Eastern Golden Knights will cooperate here tonight.
That's right. We'll be right back after this break.
Eastern Golden Knights in white, and that's John Robb, number 52, jumping center. And of course the defenders in blue and gray, and Randy Jarrett will jump center for that squad, and he ends up getting his own tap back. And the defenders in business to start tonight's game.
We know we're looking at a quality team here, Bill. They beat Eastern last year in the States, and they lost to a team that many people from York know, Milton, who knocked off York Catholic last week in the AAA state playoffs.
Well, they played Milton 3 times this year, Chris, beating them once. They only have 4 losses, and 2 of them to the Milton squad. Well, that was kind of a forced jump shot at the other end, and the Golden Knights in business right now against the defender zone, and that's not really a surprise, is it, Chris?
No, they play a lot of matchup zone, and looked like Eastern spread him out a good bit that time, and John Robb got the ball down in where he wants to.
Missed it, though, and so did Ryan Smith, a little 16-footer. And so both teams a little tight, I think, at the start of tonight's state semifinal. No score. We've played a minute. The Knights open in a man-to-man. Nice lob, and that is blocked by Robb. Jarrett is there. He's got it, and he's fouled. Good offensive rebounding by the defenders, and they break the ice with a 2-0 lead.
Looked like Ryan Smith went out to the corner on that play to double team and left the basket unprotected, Bill. And boy, if they're going to do that, they're going to be in for a lot of trouble. There's the pass inside. Robb got the block on the first one, but Jarrett followed it up and laid it in. Robb got him on the arm.
Randy Jarrett, a veteran, and he was very much a part of the victory over Eastern last year. He is their, well, leading scorer, really co-leading scorer. They have 2 kids that average about 15.5 points per game. He's one of them, and he's got 3 right out of the gate. Nice drive by Donnie Knob, and the junior gets Eastern's first bucket as the middle was wide open.
It looks like what they're trying to do, Bill, is play Donnie Knob and Paul Abel with really one guy and play the other 3 with 4 defenders.
Tim Cook, number 33, who has the ball or had it just a moment ago, is the other fellow that averages 15.5 per game. Nice reverse layup by Brian Powell. Brian is one of those guys that you don't expect to hurt you, but he did a nice job again hitting the offensive boards, Chris.
It's like Eastern's standing around a little bit on defense, and they're going to have to pick up the pace a little bit. And this goes back to what we talked about earlier about Eastern, you know, being a strong second half team and getting that feeling that they can fall behind in the first half and still come back. That's got to be something that worries Coach Mark Eckert.
Another Rob miss and another defender rebound as they are really dominating the glass here in the first couple of minutes. Look at that pass down low to Powell again. That one rolled off, and Ryan Smith has the rebound. 5-2 Warrior run here in the early going. Rob this time turns and moves to the hoop and gets his first bucket. As many of you probably know, John Robb needs 25 points to become the YCIAA all-time leading scorer. We'll tell you more about that as he closes in on it, and we suspect that he will. He's been averaging about that many here in the playoffs. 5-4 Warrior run. That's Cook, and he buries it. Tim Cook with a turnaround for his first bucket.
That was a tough shot, Bill. Ryan Smith was right there, and being 6'5" with the hands straight up in the air, he's a tall target to shoot over.
Tim Cook had 23 points, almost half of his team's total in the victory over Eastern a year ago. And there's a turnover as Donnie Knobb had it banged off his leg.
I tell you, it looks like the last couple times Warrior run's been in the man-to-man. Now there, John Robb made a nice drop step to the basket and laid it in.
Here's Cook again. That one's off the side of the rim. And look out as Reichert is down he goes, and that is almost always. Even if he wouldn't have lost it, it would have been a traveling violation anyway on Reichert. So another Golden Knight turnover.
I'm sure there was a sigh of relief there when Reichert got back up, because he had hurt his ankle late in the season.
Nice hands by John Robb, and that's a defender turnover. Robb at the other end of the break hold everything. He's fouled before he made his move to the bucket, says the official.
Looked like John Cook, I believe, 23, got him on the arm, on the dribble, I believe.
We are far removed from the scorer's table, so it may be difficult to pick up who some of the culprits are on these fouls. We'll go with John Cook on that one. Ryan Smith, low post. And he's being worked over by Tim Cook. First on Tim.
If I'd be Eastern, I just think they have to keep going down to Rob and Smith and force Warrior run inside people to play defense. And I just, to this point, it doesn't look as though they can really handle it. We'll have to see as that develops.
Ryan Smith and John Robb both averaging over 20 points per game during Eastern's playoff run, a playoff run that has seen them win 7 games in a row. There you see it, 20.6 for Ryan Smith in the playoffs. 1 out of 2, but a good rebound by Reichert. 7-5, Warrior run is still on top. Eastern could tie or go ahead with a 3-pointer. Most of you Golden Knight fans, I'm sure, realize Reichert is the primary 3-point shooter, and that's a foul on Jarrett.
Looks like Warrior run's content to play behind the post people, Bill, and let them catch it down in the low post area. I don't know how long they can continue to do that. I think they're going to get into foul trouble. Here comes the replay. The ball goes right into Rob. Jarrett is directly behind him. Rob takes a drop step, and Jarrett hits him across the arm. And I just wonder if Jarrett can really handle John Robb down the low block.
Seems suicidal to me when you let Rob and Ryan Smith catch the ball down low that close to the basket.
Yeah, they're awful good players.
Now Warrior run, of course, very confident that Cook and Jarrett can do the job. They are solid quality people as well, but so far it's been a standoff. Here's Cook, stripped away by Reichert. Good D. Eastern looking for their first lead, and Reichert's going to dish off to Ryan Smith, and he is hammered from behind by Brian Powell.
John Robb and Ryan Smith have the large point totals in these playoffs, Bill, but I think if you talk to Coach Mark Eckert, the key to this team has been Kirk Reichert.
There he is.
There he drives the baseline. Beautiful pass to Ryan Smith, and he draws a foul.
Mark Eckert was quoted in some of the York newspapers as saying he feels he can beat this team down the floor, and we touched on that earlier. And you saw it right there as Riekert did just that. And then with good court sense, there's Riekert again with a rebound off the miss, and he cans the turnaround.
Rebounds off of missed foul shots give coaches gray hairs, I'll tell you that.
10-7, Eastern on a bit of a run, leading by 3. Cook, short, and Ryan Smith has the rebound. 3:15 left in the first quarter.
Eastern just has to stay patient and just keep pounding the ball down inside.
There they go. Now they've got a wide open guard, and he buries it. That's Don Knob, and he gives the Knights their biggest lead at 12-7. Paul Abel, the only starter, Chris, not to score. Look at Jarrett down low, and he throws up an air ball as Rob played real good defense.
Jarrett turned, and Rob just put his hands up, stayed parallel, and Jarrett shot it completely over the basket. Eastern zones the inbounds underneath the basket there at a 2-3 now.
New player in for the defenders is Dave Zimmerman, a 6'2 senior, number 50. Nice pass into Zimmerman, and he is fouled by Ryan Smith. Zimmerman using the hook shot. Tough to block that, and Ryan did get a piece of it.
Now we talk about Eastern wanting to get the ball down inside, and obviously Warrior Run wants to do the same thing.
That foul on Ryan Smith was his first. Not much of a rest for Tim Cook. He's right back in there, giving Brian Powell a bit of a rest, and Zimmerman stays in. Obviously, he's at the line. There he is. One out of 2 for Zimmerman, and it's a 12-8 Eastern advantage with 2:20 left first quarter. Once again, they dump it down low. Good D this time, though, by the defenders. Knob, a little short. Rebound Cook. Couple of real fine junior front court people. Hold everything. There's a whistle and a push by Zimmerman after the steal. We are referring to Eastern's Ryan Smith and to the defenders' Tim Cook. 1-1.
That's awful early to be in the 1-1, Bill.
I'm sure Andy Kyle not real happy with that development, as junior Don Knob will go to the line for the Golden Knights.
Over 2 minutes to go in the first quarter, and they're in the 1-1 already. Eastern could really take advantage of that.
Another rebound off a missed foul shot. Tapped in by John Robb. That's happened 3 times in this quarter, Chris, and you don't see it in many games 3 times in an entire game.
That's right. I'm sure that Andy Kyle's got to be upset about that.
14-8. Look at that pass. Almost went in the hoop. Who's got it? Robb. All of a sudden, the defenders getting sloppy as they turned it over. There's a good defensive play as it goes off the hands of Paul Abel.
Again, that's another indication, though, that Eastern wants to push the ball up the floor. Kirk Riekert had a wide open Paul Abel, and he just couldn't handle the pass.
Brian Powell, as you can see, there he is, number 31, has just checked back. Well, where'd the basketball go? Boy, if it rolled down that mountain outside, they'll never get it. Might end up where my car is. And the official gets a well-deserved hand. When you disappear into that tunnel, you never know if you'll come back out. 14-8, Eastern on top here in the first period. And we've mentioned on several occasions that the Golden Knights have not had the greatest time in their first half of play. So Coach Eckert has to be happy so far. This is Cook. Whistle, blocking foul on, is that Ryan? No, that is Riekert, his first. Fouls are really spread out for both squads. No one, at least from my numbers, with more than one.
There have been a lot of whistles out of this first quarter.
Here's Zimmerman. He drops it in. Dave Zimmerman doing a nice job for the defenders off the bench. Cuts the deficit to 4. Ryan Smith on the low post. He scores and is fouled. And Chris Bupp, the strategy is pretty obvious.
Yeah, that's for sure. And Warrior Run's playing that matchup zone, and I was just watching underneath that time, and John Robb set a screen across for Ryan Smith, and the two defenders didn't communicate at all, and Ryan Smith was wide open. There's a turn by Ryan Smith, and had him right on the elbow. That's a great turn into the middle by Ryan.
Foul was on Cook, and that is his second. He is one of those 2 leading scorers we talked about, and a young man that Coach Andy Kyle cannot afford to have on the bench very long. He's got a pair. 17-10 Golden Knights with their largest lead. Don Knobb is very active on both ends. Almost had another steal. Only 40 seconds left in this first quarter. See if the defenders are satisfied to try to cut this thing to 5 and be happy with that. 20, nope, they're going to the hole. And they got it. Nice left-handed jumper by Brian Powell. And it's 17-12 with only 15 seconds left. Now 10. Ryan Smith baseline. Abel. Only 5 seconds remain. They better hurry. They get it off, but it won't count. Off the heel of the rim. And the first quarter is a satisfying one, I'm sure, for Coach Eckert and the Golden Knights. They lead Warrior Run 17-12.
We're back for the second quarter of action.
Robb turns and drops it in. And John Robb, Mr. Bupp, all of a sudden with a quiet 8.
I think it's becoming obvious here, Bill, that Eastern does have the quickness factor over Warrior Run. Warrior Run just has a little trouble handling Eastern when they get out on the fast break.
Nice jumper by John Cook. He made a good head fake, his first bucket of the evening, and it's 19-14 as the defenders are sticking close.
Looking at the first quarter stats, Warrior Run is 5 of 12 from the field for 42%. Eastern 6 of 12, 50%. Eastern's going to the line 8 times already, Bill, and converted on 5 of those.
Well, a little frustration setting in as John Robb is really getting the position on the rebounding, and John Cook just tried to run him out of the gym right there and got caught. Second on John. And remember, we are in the bonus, so Robb will go to the line.
Going a little further on those stats, Eastern has 10 rebounds to Warrior Run 6. That's a stat that we're going to have to keep an eye on. Turnovers are even at 3 each.
Look at that, 25.3 points per game he averages, John Robb, in the playoffs. Drexel bound for 1988-89. And he is a slick 4 for 4 from the free throw line so far tonight. 10 points for John Robb as he leads all scorers. Here's Zimmerman, a little short, and Ryan Smith pounds the boards. 21-14 the Golden Knights. We are a minute into the second quarter here at Martz Hall, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. John Robb, you can't get him the ball down there. Biggest lead of the night for the Golden Knights, and Robb has a dozen.
Well, Eastern's just doing everything they want to do, Bill. The only thing they have to be concerned about is letting up at this point.
And Coach Andy Kyle has seen enough. He's going to call a timeout and try to regroup. Chris, as a coach, and of course for those of you in the York viewing area that's not aware of it, Chris Bupp coaching the York Votech program. What do you do defensively? It seems pretty simple. Robb and Ryan Smith setting up shop down low, and the other members of the Golden Knights able to get them the ball, and they are in great field goal shooting percentage area. and they're canning most of them, as you just said, 50% in the first quarter. They haven't missed here in the second quarter.
Yeah, that's right. And one of the things that we did when we played Eastern was to pack back our perimeter people and just force that perimeter shot and really try and make it difficult to get that pass in there. Again, it's impossible to stop John Robb and Ryan Smith, but they're just out of control right now. They're scoring at will underneath. Particularly
Robb. Well, you look at the stats, and on the season, Don Knobb and Paul Abel, the two Golden Knight guards, averaging only 6.5, 7 points per game. It would seem that would be the strategy, but they're going in that matchup zone 1-on-1 with Robb and Ryan Smith, and it's just not working. Well, here's Jarrett. He's been very quiet, only a bucket. And one free throw for Randy Jarrett. Jarrett on the baseline. Nothing there. Look at those hands. Riekert with a steal, and here he comes. Lays it up and in.
Warrior run is really staying around, Bill. They don't have any offensive movement to speak of, and where they got to start getting some of their big people open.
Jarrett turns and has it rejected. The defenders come away with it, though. But Jarrett will remember that. Look at those hands by Don Knobb, and he saves the basketball to Abel. Robb has it partially blocked. Good defense by the defenders. 25-14. Three-point shot is short, and Robb has the rebound. Boy, this is the kind of tempo that Mark Eckert wanted.
Yeah, that wasn't a good shot there by Warrior Run. They had a 3 or 4-on-2 advantage, and you got to get a better shot than a three-pointer in that situation.
Ryan Smith, here's that same 1-on-1 situation, and another Golden Knight bucket down low.
Another timeout, Bill.
Timeout on the basketball floor. With 5:18 left in the first half, you see it. Eastern comfortably on top of the defenders, 27-14. We will be right back. There is a look at some very happy folks from the Wrightsville, Hallam area, about 1,200 strong here at Marks Hall, and they are being congratulated. This is a hike. Jarrett turns, wheels, and buries it. Nice shot by Randy Jarrett.
One of the things that Andy Kyle had to talk about in the timeout huddle, I'm sure, was to dispel any panic that might be starting to set in and get his team back to doing what they do best, and that's going inside.
Robb, look at that. Ryan Smith just missed, and John Robb volleyballs it in. He's got 14 here in the first half. Cook, yes. Well, and you can also imagine that Andy Kyle said, look, Randy Jarrett and Tim Cook, you're the two big horses that got us here. Let's get back in the offense, and they both just have.
Yeah.
Smith pops out high this time. So does Robb. Oh, they ran Donnie Knobb on the back door, but he could not handle the pass. It's a turnover, number 4.
That was still good patience by Eastern, and they had Donnie Knobb along the baseline open on the cut. The pass was a little high, but I thought he still should have been able to handle it.
Whistle away from the ball.
Got an illegal screen there, Bill.
Yep. That's going to go on John Cook, and I've got him for 3. We mentioned not too long ago that no one was in any foul trouble. Well, John Cook now with 3 is probably going to have to take a seat. Well, I don't know. Andy Kyle's not making any kind of a move toward his bench.
I'll tell you, with the score the way it is right now, Bill, he might feel as though he's just got to go with it and not let this game get any further out of reach. On the other hand, Mark Eckert has not substituted as of yet.
6'5" junior Ryan Smith is 4 for 5 from the free throw line. So we'll have all these numbers for you at halftime. Some real nice free throw shooting by Eastern here in the first half. The lead is 13.
Of course, Mark Eckert's feelings might be, why fool with a good thing, too.
What's the old saying? If it isn't broke, don't fix it.
That's right.
Here's Zimmerman. He's done a nice job off the bench, and he has 5. 3:40 left in the first half, and I'm sure it's a first half that Andy Kyle can't wait to end. This is a good ball club, folks. They're 26-4, and Eastern is taking them apart right now. Jarrett is right up on Robb, follows up his own shot. He's going to follow it up one more time, and he gets it. Jarrett now with 7.
Randy Jarrett's the equal in size of John Robb. He really is he's a big kid.
A little run for the defenders. They've scored 4 unanswered points. Lob to Robb, whistle, hold it. And Jarrett will be called for his second foul. So Jarrett has 2, Tim Cook 2, and John Cook has 3.
Talking about that Eastern substitution, here comes their first sub, Eddie Reisinger, into the ball game for Paul Abel.
Reisinger is a 6-foot senior. Doesn't see a whole lot of playing time. He's wearing number 30.
Sort of a defensive specialist, Bill.
Well, John Robb just missed his first foul shot. Powell. Rebound again by Jarrett, and he is hammered. Ryan Smith, I think, got him.
I just noticed the last 2 times down the floor here on Robb's missed foul shot and that play there, the Eastern players are standing around a little bit right now, and they can't be satisfied with what they've accomplished to this point. They got to continue to play hard.
Comes another sub. Ryan Smith, who has 2 fouls, is going to get a rest.
There was Randy Jarrett working hard on the boards and going to the foul line.
Bob Christ has just checked in for the Golden Knights, number 54, a 6-foot junior. Randy Jarrett really starting to assert himself on the boards, and there's another rebound off a missed foul shot, this time the other way, and John Cook gets a bucket. All of a sudden, in the last couple of minutes, the defenders taking it to Eastern a little bit. I don't know, and maybe Coach Eckert senses it. Maybe they're a little tired out there, and that's why they are standing around.
I think this is a big 2.5 minutes here at the end of the second quarter. Eastern can let Warrior run right back in the ball game here. They really had a chance to put the game away.
We think that last foul was on Brian Powell, number 31. And here's Bobby Christ dropping in the first of a 1-on-1 situation. 2:36 remaining in the first half. (33-25). The Golden Knights make it a rebound for Robb. Ooh, no whistle there as there was contact on Nobb's miss. Look at Robb. Just kind of, again, volleyballed it up and in. Robb with a big first half. Look at that driving layup at the other end by Chris Higgins for his first bucket.
Well, Eastern could have had a charge there if somebody would have stepped in. Chris Higgins was out of control in that play.
2 minutes, clock running. Eastern by 8. Boy, wide open is Christ. He missed it, though. Rebound by Riekert, and he's fouled. Is that Jarrett? Let's wait and see. 5-0. That is Dave Zimmerman, his second.
Watch John Robb tap that ball in. The ball was loose underneath the basket. Donnie Knobb had his hand on the ball, and the ball kind of floated up in the air, and John Robb just, like you say, Bill, volleyballed it in.
I might have jinxed Eastern. I talked about their great foul shooting. They've missed a couple down the stretch here. Riekert gets another shot at it. 1 out of 2. Kirk has 5. Robb has 16, so he only needs 9 more by our count become the all-time leading scorer in York County basketball. Riekert misses the layup. Remember that miss with 1.5 minutes left in the first half. 9-point ball game, but you can sense that the defenders feel very fortunate to be this close.
Seems like a first half has been just totally dominated by Eastern, but doesn't show on the scoreboard.
Brian Powd buries another left-hander, and now it's a 7-point Eastern lead.
Eastern played so well for the first quarter and a half, I'd say, that it almost gets to a point where, you know, what else can we do? We're doing everything right, and you sense that let up right now.
Well, that looked like traveling possibilities right there, but Bob Christ gets the bucket instead as Cook misses a long-range bomb. 45 seconds left, and Eastern may pull it out and go for one. They will.
This is a good decision here, Bill, I think.
Well, we're going to talk about it first. Coach Eckert wants timeout with 36 seconds remaining in the half, and the Golden Knights leading 38-29. They'll talk about it. We'll be right back. Well, the timeout is over, and we'll see what it was all about as the Knights appear to be holding for the last shot. 22 seconds left. The offense is, as you can see, quite spread out. 15 seconds now. Eastern leading by 9, and they will, I'm sure, at least take that lead into the locker room unless they commit a major error right here with 7 seconds left. Look out. Oh, that's a travel, and they did make an error, and the error was there were too many white shirts where the basketball was.
Right, that pass went to 2 people. Now, if you're Eastern, I think you got to go up the floor a little bit and not let Warrior run, just bring it down uncontested. That's what they're doing.
4 seconds left. They're going to get off a, oops, he should have shot that ball. That won't count. Well, maybe it would have, but it doesn't matter because it didn't go in. And we have reached the halfway point in the state semifinals from Marks Hall and Pottsville. And it's been a good first half for Eastern, although they left it slip a bit there toward the end. They're still, as you can see, on top of the Warrior Run defenders, 38-29.
Back here at Marks Hall in Pottsville with the halftime score, Eastern 38, Warrior Run 29. And we're going to take a look at our halftime stats. And taking a look at them, a little unusual in the field goal percentage there, Bill. Warrior Run is actually shooting at a higher percentage, 47%. Eastern is 42%. Warrior Run is 13 of 28. Eastern 13 of 31. 3-point field goals, I don't know if anybody shot any yet. I don't believe they have. Free throws, Warrior Run 60%, 3 of 5. Eastern 71%, 12 of 17. There's a big difference right there. Rebounding, Eastern 22, Warrior Run 14, and the turnovers are fairly even at 6 and 5.
Well, Chris, you said a mouthful when you said the difference is at the free throw line. Both teams with 13 field goals, and Eastern leading by 9 because of their free throw shooting. 17 free throws shot to only 5 by Warrior Run. There's the leading scorers for the defenders. Randy Jarrett, as he has been most of the year, with 8. Powell with only 6. But I want to make a comment. Tim Cook, who averages 15.5 points per game, held to only 4. And in that win over Eastern a year ago, he had 23. So they're doing a heck of a job on Tim Cook. For the Golden Knights of Eastern, not a big surprise. John Robb leads the way with 16. He's been averaging 25 during the Golden Knights playoff trail, and as we've been saying, needs only 9 more to become the all-time leading scorer in York County basketball history, and he's got 16. He's well on his way. Ryan Smith with a nice first half. He has 9. Kirk Riekert with 5. Don Knobb with some big points early to get Eastern out of the gate and in a real positive start here in the first half of play, because we've mentioned over and over the bad first half that Eastern has been experiencing throughout the playoffs. Well, not so tonight. They lead 38-29. Second half tap off just about a minute away, and we'll be right back to bring you all of the action from Marks Hall right after this. The defenders will get the basketball to start the third quarter. Trailing by 9. Eastern, Chris Bupp opening in that man-to-man. Little back door right there, and wide open is John Cook.
It's an easy basket to start the third quarter for Warrior Run. Looks like they're back in their matchup zone again.
Well, that's a forced pass. Who's got it? I think Eastern still has the basketball. Trying to lob to Rob. They're going to stick with that strategy, I'm sure. It worked well in the first 16 minutes. Abel leans in and gets his first bucket of the night. The freshman, Paul Abel. The lead is back to 9 for Eastern. Wide open is Cook again. Won't go. Rebound, Riekert.
Again, you know, I'm repeating myself so many times, Bill, but I think Eastern's just got to take their time, work the ball around the perimeter until they can get it into Rob.
Starting the second half, by the way, you may notice, is Bob Christ, number 54. Ryan Smith is going to stay on the bench. Here's a blocking foul. I believe it's on Abel. Ryan Smith has those 2 fouls. And so Coach Eckert opens the third quarter with Ryan on the pine.
I'm taking a look here, Bill. I don't even see Ryan Smith on the Eastern bench right now. Oh, yes, I do. Okay, there he is.
This is Chris Higgins shooting a pair. As we mentioned at halftime, only the 6th and 7th foul shots for the defenders, and he's got them both. Remember, Warrior Run got themselves into the bonus situation in the first quarter, and it hurt them. 40-33, the Golden Knights by 7. Rob turns and throws it up a little short. Well, a bucket here, and this is as close as the defenders have been since the early part of the second quarter, and nice patience shown there. Look out. Almost stealing the ball was Knob. And now Eastern does come away with it. Good defense. Abel scores. Take the basket away. Offensive foul. Tough break for Eastern, Chris, but I think a good call.
Yeah, I believe so. That was a tough play for the Warrior Run kid to make, to stand in there and take it, but he did a nice job. He was definitely there and set.
Here's Cook. We mentioned how quiet he has been. Remember, there's 2 Cooks. We speak of Tim Cook when we say quiet because he averages nearly 16 per game. He's been held to 4 so far tonight. Number 33. Riekert from 3. Yes. First 3-pointer of the night. Look out, losing control, and the basketball was Chris Higgins. 43-33, Eastern by 10. They can smell Hershey. Still a long way to go in this one. Look out. Warrior Run with a good defensive play, and now a layup. No, stealing the ball is Knob, but he goes down. That's a travel. It's always a travel.
That was great hustle by Donnie Knob breaking up that play, because it looked like it was going to be an easy 2 points for Warrior Run.
Jarrett puts it on the floor, and he's fouled. Rob, I believe.
Randy Jarrett looks to be physically very strong in there. I tell you, Bill, guys have been bouncing off of him.
John Robb has 2. I've got Abel for 2, and Ryan Smith on the bench with 2. Here's Randy Jarrett.
There's Jarrett making the move inside. Who's that foul on, Bill?
Rob.
Oh, that was on John Robb. That was a good, strong move to the basket.
Jarrett quietly hits double figures now. He's got 10. Ryan Smith stays on the Golden Knight bench. Robb turns. He's short again as Jarrett is putting the pressure on defensively. The defenders are running 3-on-2. Bad pass, though, and they blow a 3-on-2 break. And Andy Kyle not very happy on the defender bench. Coach Eckert wants to talk it over Chris Bupp. He calls timeout with 4:58 remaining in the third quarter.
Kind of curious, Bill, as to why Ryan Smith is still on the bench. I don't know if there's some other problem other than the foul problems. But it seemed like when him and Robb were in there together, Warrior Run had a tough time defending them, even though their nickname is the Defenders.
Talk about getting right inside the defender huddle. We're there. And now a look at Mark Eckert and the Golden Knight huddle.
And things have shifted a little bit from the first half, too, I believe, where it looks like the last couple times down the floor, Warrior Run has been beating Eastern down the floor, and Eastern's had a little trouble getting back defensively. I'm sure that's something Coach Mark Eckert might have discussed a little bit in the huddle there.
Bob Christ still in the lineup. Golden Knights up by 8 with the basketball. 4:55 left, third quarter. And if you're wondering who these two strange voices are, wait, look at this defensive play. And a return of the favor by Riekert at the other end. I'm Bill Arnold along with Chris Bupp. We are here tonight for the vacationing Kevin Drawbaugh and Craig Smith. Hope you're enjoying it on Cable 4. Tim Cook, he's got it. The lead, a precarious 6 now for Eastern.
Here comes Ryan Smith back in the ball game. Sometimes as a coach, you say to yourself going into halftime, well, I'll try and sit one of my top players out until the lead gets to a certain number, and maybe it's at that number right now.
Well, it's right back to 8 as Riekert, with his outside shooting, keeping Eastern into the game here in the third quarter, or keeping them at that 8-point lead. Foul from behind, pretty obvious. Kirk Riekert with his second. And that should get Ryan Smith into the lineup.
I believe Andy Kyle might have made a mention to the fact that Tim Cook only had 4 points up until that timeout, and they've gone to him the last 2 times down the floor.
Nice hand for Bobby Christ, and he deserves it. 4 points off the bench and a real nice job down low for the Golden Knights. Here is 6'4" junior Tim Cook. Averages nearly 16 per game. He's been held to 6 so far in this one.
We talked about Eastern having the advantage going to the foul line the first half. Bill, the second half is complete opposite. Eastern's committed 4 fouls, and Warrior Run has yet to commit their first foul. So the next foul, they'll be in the 1-on-1.
Abel, the freshman, runs the offense. Is that a man-to-man? It almost looks like they're in a man right now as Eastern again hammers the offensive boards, and Ryan Smith has it, or does he? I think everybody on the floor got a hand on it, but the defenders come away. Look at Cook all the way to the other end, and it's a little strong. Rebound, Jarrett, and he's fouled. And that may be number 3 on John Robb. It is.
I was impressed with the way Cook handled the ball on the open floor for being 6'4". He handles himself real well.
Here's a look at Jarrett's work under the basket.
Going up strong, and where that attempted block from behind, Bill, that's a foul every time.
Well, here's Randy Jarrett. I've got him 4 for 5 from the free throw line, and now 4 for 6. You're right. The foul shooting situation turning completely around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 foul shots in this quarter. More than the defenders shot the entire first half. Eastern has yet to shoot one. 45-39, the Golden Knights by 6.
Eastern crowd's getting a little restless, I believe, Bill.
Here's Robb, and you can't let him have it down there. 18 now for John Robb, and the lead is back to 8. Cook, yes, that's a tough shot, and he made it look easy. Tim Cook all of a sudden has 9.
I believe the word was given during that timeout, Bill. Seems that way because all of a sudden Tim Cook's become a major factor in the offense.
Eastern up by 6. There's 2:50 left, third quarter. Wide open. Knob, maybe one too many passes. Smith misses. The defenders are running 4 on 2. Whoa, losing the handle, but the reason he lost it, says the official, is Don Knob hammered him on the arm. First on Donnie Knob.
Eastern's big people, John Robb and Ryan Smith, were slow getting back down the floor again that time. If you look at them, they're both leaning over, holding on to their shorts.
Missed the front end of the 1-and-1. We mentioned at halftime, Eastern's advantage was due to their free throw shooting. The defenders back in the game because of their free throw shooting. They're down by only 6, 2:25 left, third quarter. They got it to Robb again. John Robb, yes. 20 for John Robb. He needs 5 more. And you see the brain trust for Warrior Run shaking their head. How do you stop John Robb? Three-pointer. No. Robb with a rebound. Look out. He's got it. Warrior Run wanted a whistle as John got a little physical on that rebound. Here's Riekert, but he lost the handle. Cook stops and hits. Big third quarter for junior Tim Cook, and the defenders down by 6. Robb again down low. He's blocked by Cook.
Boy, a great block by Tim Cook from the weak side. Tim Cook's really asserted himself here in the third quarter.
The defenders can cut this thing to 4. Jarrett thought about it, and they're going to pull it back. This is a veteran team and well coached. They've won 26 of their 30 games. And Andy Kyle has them very much in control as Ryan Smith knocks it away.
Warrior Run's doing an interesting thing here, Bill. On their set offense, they're setting a back screen with their postman coming out and setting a screen for the wing guy to cut back door to the basket. And they've gotten a couple of open shots under the basket with that.
John Robb sticks a big paw in there and knocks it away. Turnover, defenders. And 1 minute remains now, third quarter.
Big possession for Eastern right here.
Robb's going to go to the hole again. Misses, gets his own rebound. Well, if that's not a foul, it should be a takedown. I think that's Jarrett, his third.
One of the things that I noticed there, Bill, Kirk Riekert threw the ball in to Robb, and look at Riekert standing still out on the perimeter. He should be moving to the open spot to try and receive the pass back from John Robb if he gets double teamed.
Watch this foul. Unofficially, I have John Robb 5 for 6 from the free throw line. 21 points. Robb gives the Golden Knights that 8-point lead again. It's been right in that 6 to 8 point range this entire period, and only 42 seconds remain. The winner goes to the Hershey Arena for the state AA championships on Saturday afternoon. Tim Cook. Throw some water on that guy. He is burning. He has 9 this quarter, 13 in the game.
Eastern with really not that bad a defense again. Tim Cook just went right up over Kirk Riekert and shot that ball.
Eastern probably holding for the last shot with 13 seconds left. Knob dishes off. Wait a minute, that's a travel, I believe. And it is. Excellent call by the official. And now the defenders, with 10 seconds left, Chris Bupp, can cut the lead to 4 or 3.
Where's Tim Cook?
They're going to take a three-pointer. Powell buries it. As the third quarter comes to an end, the defenders are here to play. As close as they've been since the end of the first quarter. You see it there, the Eastern Golden Knights still on top, but the Warrior Run defenders are right there, 51-48.
Okay, we're back here at Pottsville for the fourth, scoring their opponents during the playoffs at an average of 19-8 in the third quarter. However, that third quarter belonged to Warrior Run as they outscored Eastern 19-13.
Little pushing from behind on Tim Cook. Now, nobody in the game with more than 3, but for the defenders, John and Tim Cook with 3, Randy Jarrett with 3. For Eastern, John Robb has 3. Is that the first team foul, if I'm not mistaken? Second? Thank you. Second team foul on the defenders, so they've got fouls to give. Riekert with a big bucket on the baseline. A dozen for Riekert in the game. Most of them this half. Ryan Smith trying to hound Cook, but I'll tell you, Tim Cook feels it, Chris. He wants the basketball.
He's taken over the game, that's for sure.
53-50. These two teams are going to go right down to the wire. Ryan Smith's going to wheel on Cook, and he's got 4. Good baseline move by Ryan Smith, and Tim Cook has 4.
Dave Zimmerman's off the bench awful quick.
Forcing Andy Kyle to sit his star shooter on the bench for a while. Wonder how long they'll keep him there. He goes out with 7:04 left in the game.
There's Ryan Smith, moved to the baseline, and Cook got him from behind. Hey, you're in a catch-22 there, Bill, because you really are leery of keeping him out there too long. I'm sure if Warrior Run would fall behind by 6-8 points, he'd get him right back in there.
Ryan Smith's first points of the second half right here, and he got both of them. Nice kick off the heel of the rim. The Knights by 5. The other Cook will take 1. Only 2. John Cook has 8.
John probably said, well, my brother Tim's on the bench, so I guess I'll have to do it.
55-52. John Robb down low. They pick his pocket and then dribble on the end line. Tough break for Brian Powell as he made the nice defensive play, helping out down low, but then dribble on the end line.
Again, Kirk Riekert's got to let John know that that double team's coming.
Well, Kirk Riekert is forced to call a timeout as they were about to get called for the 5-second violation. So, with 6:42 remaining in the game, there's timeout on the floor, and Eastern leads by 3. Okay, Riekert will try it again, and this time he gets it into Ryan Smith with 6:40 left in the ball game. Eastern has been playing at a 17-1 clip since early in the year, and that one was the York Catholic loss, of course. Look out. Good defense and another turnover. John Cook has it for the defenders. They could tie with a three-pointer. Zimmerman cuts it to 1. 55-54.
The momentum has shifted, Bill, and now Eastern's standing around on offense.
And you can just see the adrenaline pumping in those the defenders from Warrior Run. They're playing great defense. They are getting themselves back into this game defensively.
It's amazing how a couple points in a row can increase your defensive intensity also.
There's another great defensive play, but in the right place at the right time is John Robb. 57-54.
Eastern needs a stop right here.
Remember, Cook is still on the bench with 4 fouls, 5.5 minutes left in the game. Higgins almost traveled. Powell. Blocked by Ryan Smith. A little good defense from the Eastern Golden Knights. Abel will walk it up with 5:05 left. Here's Robb. You bet. John Robb. Is that the 26th point? It is, and he just became the all-time leading scorer in York County history. I'm sure he doesn't care much about that right now, but our congratulations to John on that bucket. 26 points on the night. More importantly, the Golden Knights lead back to 5. Powell. Oh, it rolls out. Abel, nice pass to Riekert, and he lays it in. The lead is back to 7.
Tim Cook sitting on the sidelines waiting to come back in the ball game too, Bill.
Got to get him in now. 4:15 left in the game, and Andy Kyle wants to talk it over. We'll keep it right here with 4 minutes and 15 seconds left, and the Golden Knights that much time away from a trip to the state championship in Hershey on Saturday.
I think right now Eastern's got to be thinking about a couple of things. Number one, as you look at John Robb passing Steve Johnson and Frank Wright, and the Ritecki brothers, Bill and Rick, on the all-time scorers list. I think Eastern's got to be thinking about defensively limiting Warrior run to one shot. It's got to be a main concern, and I know if I'd be coaching this team, Bill, at the offensive end, we wouldn't shoot the ball until John Robb touched it at least one time.
Can't blame you for that. (61-54). Eastern by 7. 4 minutes, 15 seconds left. We are at Martz Hall in Pottsville, Pennsylvania. It's the Eastern Finals. Left. 4:15 is an eternity. Look at a D by Abel. Well, shaking free, though, is Higgins. He misses the layup. And guess who? John Robb with another rebound. And now, Golden Knights will be very patient, I'm sure. Tim Cook, by the way, is back in the lineup. Look out, you can't catch your own ball. Now they call it a double dribble. A little bit of a delayed call there, but it is over. Mark Eckert doesn't like it.
John Robb was standing on the perimeter that time. I find that hard to believe. I don't know if they had some kind of set play or what they were doing.
Jarrett. Robb was all over him, and there's Ryan Smith for the rebound. And now again, walking it up with 3.5 minutes left.
I sense a little panic in Warrior run right now. That was really a forced shot.
They get it into Robb. John turns, baseline, yeah, and he's fouled. That might, wait a minute, who are they pointing to? Are they pointing to Cook, or are they pointing to Ryan Smith? The basket will count.
Pointing to Ryan Smith, Bill.
Yep, and that means that Warrior Run will shoot a 1-and-1 at the other end.
I believe they got Ryan for pushing on
here, you'll see it.
Rebound. Riekert with the ball in the wing, throws it into Robb. Makes that baseline drop step, pulls up, and well, it was tough to tell from that angle, but they got Ryan Smith with the push.
Here is Tim Cook. He is 1 for 2 from the free throw line on the night. He misses it. Break for the Golden Knights. They lead by 9. Remember, this was a 1-point game just a few minutes ago, and Jarrett fouls from behind. He has 4. It's the John Robb show, folks.
You know, Bill, and you look at the fact that Tim Cook got his 4th foul there and really was kind of on an offensive roll. Had been scoring a lot of points, and ever since he came back in the game, he hasn't really gotten back into the offense.
Steal on the inbounds pass. Yeah, that's been a real factor. Really cooled Tim Cook off the 4th foul. That occurred less than 1 minute into this 4th quarter. Bad pass by Higgins, or make it John Cook. And with 2:50 left, everything going Eastern's way the last 3 or 4 minutes. Riekert will take a long bomb and drop it in. It's 3. What a second half for Kirk Riekert.
I was just about to say Eastern doesn't have to be in a hurry, but they'll take 3-pointers from Kirk Riekert.
That's awfully close to the largest lead. It is not, but it's right up there as Eastern leads by a dozen. There's a 3 by Cook. Tim Cook answers. He has 18 points on the night. 66-57. Golden Knights out of control a little bit. 2:10 left in the game.
Now the fact that Warrior run now, they went up the floor that time to pressure.
And that's going to be it for Jarrett. I think Randy Jarrett just committed foul number 5. And this guy had one tremendous career at Warrior Run, and he just played his last game, I believe. Randy Jarrett goes to the bench.
Here comes Riekert going down the middle. Looked like he might have got fouled, laid it up. John Robb worked for inside position, got it, and there was Randy Jarrett over the back.
Randy Jarrett held to only 11 points, trying to guard John Robb either in the man-to-man or the matchup zone. And you can see the foul problems right there that the defenders are involved in. Tim Cook is their other big gun, and he's got 4.
Point I was going to mention there, Bill, Warrior runs in a position now where they have to go up the floor and pressure Eastern, and we talked about the fact that Eastern has the quickness advantage, and it's going to be very tough, I think, for Warrior Run to come back at this point.
That's an even 30 for John Robb. Higgins, or make that Cook. John Cook has 10. 68-59 Eastern. And barring a huge collapse, they will try to become the second straight District 3 team to win a AA state title. Columbia High did so a year ago, and it appears that Eastern's on their way to Hershey. A minute and a half left. You'll soon start to see the fouls. There's one on John Cook. He has 4.
Now you start going down through the foul shooting percentages of the Eastern players in the game right now. Paul Abel is a 72% shooter. Donnie Knobs 68%. Ryan Smith 66. Kirk Riekert 79. And John Robb is a 49% foul shooter. So obviously Warrior Run would, if John Robb gets the ball in his hands, probably going to go after him.
With Ryan Smith on the bench early in the third quarter, Chris, and John Robb playing well, but not sensationally, this young man, Kirk Riekert, kept them in the ball game. He has had a sensational second half. Steal. And then a travel. Riekert, 14 points in this half, 19 in the ball game. As you can tell, the Eastern fans are quite happy. John Robb, look out! One minute, 5 seconds left. And Eastern feels it now. 72-59, the Golden Knights by 13.
I'll tell you, Bill, Eastern's fans are about as vocal fans as I've seen all year.
3-pointer for John Cook. The defenders aren't quitting. They're firing them up, and there's a foul from behind on Higgins.
The Golden Knights are really getting strong support from their fans. They have quite a few of them here tonight.
I understand we are going to make every effort to talk to both coaches after the game. We will, of course, make an extra special effort to reach Mark Eckert. That's 20 points for Kirk Riekert. What a job this guy has done, huh? You mentioned before the game he's been a real key in the playoffs for Eastern.
Yeah, he's overshadowed quite a few times by Smith and John Robb.
Only 50 seconds left. It's academic now. The question is, what will the final score be as the Knights are leading by a dozen? Here's Cook. Robb is hammered from behind. And if that's John Cook, he's done. Nope, that's Zimmerman. Only his third.
You've really seen Eastern Bill raise their game a level or two in the playoffs and really have become probably the dominant team in AA in the state. I'd have to think with the performance they put on tonight that they're going to be the favorite going into the state final.
I frankly don't know a whole lot about the teams out west. You can bet Mark Eckert will come Saturday. This is the 52nd time that John Robb has led Eastern in scoring, and it is his 10th 30-plus game. Abel, oh, it drops in. All Abel has 4. Air ball, Cook puts it in. Tim Cook, never say die, having a great second half. Ball is loose, and that will be the defenders' basketball. 23 seconds left.
Now, as Paul Abel gets a little more experience under his belt, and we got to realize he's only a freshman, he threw the ball in directly underneath the basket there, and that's something in this situation you don't want to do. Fortunately, it shouldn't cost Eastern.
There's a bad pass by Powell, right into the hands of Ryan Smith. And then the defenders forced a foul.
I've been involved in York County basketball for a long time, Bill, and I don't know if I've seen a 1-2 combination the likes of Ryan Smith and John Robb under the basket. Probably the best pair of big men that I've ever seen in York County.
And this young man will be back next year.
The last tandem that I can think of goes back to York High a few years ago with Tyrone Dolman and John Coates were quite a tandem, but these two guys just seem to do it all for Eastern.
1 out of 2 for Ryan Smith. Ryan has not had the kind of game he's used to as Tim Cook misses, but Kirk Riekert has sure picked up the slack. Here's Zimmerman laying it in. But that's going to be it. 7-6. And it's all over as Ryan Smith watches the time expire here at Martz Hall. And the Golden Knights from Eastern will travel to the Hershey Sports Arena on Saturday to play for the PIAA AA state title. We'll be back for a lot of post-game conversation. And as I said earlier, hopefully some conversations with the coaches right after this.
Back here in Martz Hall with winning Eastern coach Mark Eckert. And first of all, congratulations, Coach. Your kids played a very good ball game.
Yeah, I thought they've showed an awful lot of determination, guts, if you want to use that word tonight. It's a good ball team we were playing. We got a little bit of a cushion in the first half. They came back at us in the second half. And I think it would have been pretty easy for us to fold. But our kids were so determined over there the one time out, they said they were going back out and get it right back again, and they did.
Yeah. We're having trouble even hearing ourselves as the Eastern players cut the net down in the background here. One comment. John Robb and Ryan Smith seemed to get the ball very easily inside the first half, and I was sure that they were going to make some adjustments there. And just about the time they made those adjustments, then Kirk Riekert started taking charge out in the perimeter. And he's really been an unsung hero for you all season, I believe.
Yeah, he really has. It's funny because during districts last year, Kirk just seemed to push a button and go into another gear. And he did the same thing this year. Those three kids, I don't think have ever played together any better. I mean, even counting last year than they have right now at this time, and they couldn't have picked a better time to do it.
That's right, and your guard play has been steady. It hasn't been spectacular, but it's been what you've needed, really, at this point.
Our guards are really sacrificing themselves because we're asking them to go to our strength, and everybody knows what our strength is. And they're just big-hearted enough kids that they're willing to do that because they want the team wins and aren't worried about individual things.
Right. Next is a trip to Hershey Saturday. I'm sure you're looking forward to that. Do you have any reports on any of the schools out west?
We have people watching the game at Indiana University tonight, and we have one report on Girard and are expecting another one on Brentwood. So between those two, plus the phone call we get back from the two people we have there, I think it'll give us a pretty good idea of what we're going to be up against.
Okay, well, congratulations to the Eastern's Golden Knights and Coach Mark Eckert, and we'll be looking forward to seeing them again Saturday afternoon for the State AA Championship. We'll be right back with Bill on a final wrap right after this.
Back at Martz Hall here at Pottsville, PA, Bill Arnold, Chris Bupp, and a very special guest, obviously John Robb, number 5'2", in between us. And we have a lot of congratulating to do to John and his Golden Knight teammates. We particularly want to congratulate the Eastern Knights on their excellent play since the first of the year, now 18-1, and particularly this win by 11 tonight over Warrior Run. Did it feel good to defeat a team that had knocked you out of the States at the beginning of last year?
Yeah, we wanted revenge, and that wasn't our only incentive. We knew we lost, we're going home. We didn't want to read in the paper who won the double-A state title. We knew we could come in and beat them. I think we can, just go up with just about any team in the state. Well, and I think we can win the Saturday. What can I say? We were fired up. We were intense. We knew we weren't going to back down from them just because they beat us last year, and we just took it right at them because it's no tomorrow.
John, the strategy was pretty obvious from Coach Eckert. Go inside to you and Ryan, and boy, it sure worked in the first half, and actually it worked the whole game.
Yeah, they played behind. I don't know why. It's just because the other guy was 6'7" or they were tall. There's no reason to play behind. We were getting it down low pretty easily, and that wasn't really our strategy. We thought they were going to come out in the zone, and we were going to move it around quick and get a lot coming into like the middle of the zone and try to move the ball quick. But they came out in man, and all I would do is get on the block, and he wouldn't really front me, and I could just back down until I could get a layup. And I don't know why they played behind. It obviously hurt them, but it worked out for us very well.
That was sort of leading into the question I have for you, John. I was really surprised, and Bill and I both made a lot of comments during the game about how easily you got the ball down low. And then in the second half, it seemed like they made a little adjustment, and then Kirk Riekert hit a couple three-pointers outside, and that's really been kind of the key thing to your team. If it's not inside, it's outside, and Kirk's played a major role throughout the playoffs.
Oh, definitely. He opens up the inside in the sense, him and Donnie in a sense, they can hit the jumper, and they have to go out and play them, and it opens up for me and Ryan inside. And if we're going inside and we're scoring, they start double teaming, we can kick it back out or do some different things. Kirk, Ryan, and I, we've been working very well together, the whole team in like the districts and states, and so it's no shock to me that we just tore up inside today.
John, congratulations, and we wish you the very best of luck at the Hershey Sports Arena on Saturday against whomever it happens to be from that Western Division. I overheard part of your conversation with Coach Eckert. I know he's got people at Indiana University, and they'll be ready for whoever it is that faces these Golden Knights on Saturday.
I'm sure everybody from York County is rooting for the Eastern Golden Knights, and we wish them the best of luck.
Well, I know we have some post-game stats to bring you, and we're going to have to cheat a little as we look at our notes. Why don't you take a look at some of those team statistics that many times give you some kind of a picture of how this final score got the way it is.
Okay, looking at the statistics, Warrior Run shot 52% from the field, 24 of 46, while Eastern shot 44%, 24 of 54. Three-point field goals were not a major factor in the game. However, Kirk Riekert did hit a few down the stretch in the second half. Foul shooting, Warrior Run, 9 of 15 for 60%. Eastern, 23 of 30 for 77%. So right there, Eastern shot twice as many foul shots as Warrior Run, and that was a thing we commented on throughout the game. Rebounds, Eastern 39, Warrior Run 23, and again, teams that were fairly equal in size underneath, that's quite a difference in the rebounding edge. Turnovers, 17 for Eastern and 14 for Warrior Run.
Well, Chris, I'll simply wrap this up by saying John Robb led the way, obviously, with 32 points, and along the way became the all-time leading scorer in York County history. A big boost from Kirk Riekert, who ended up with 20. Ryan Smith, a little off the mark, had a dozen, but everybody chipped in, and our congratulations to the Golden Knights. Leading the way was a hot Tim Cook. He ended up with 20 for the defenders of Warrior Run, who end up with a sensational year, but falling a little short. They end up 26-5. So we thank everybody on the Cable 4 team for helping to make this possible, and of course the PIAA for allowing us to join you here at Martz Hall in Pottsville. The rest of the York Cable 4 team will be back at it on Saturday at the Hershey Sports Arena. For Chris Bupp, Bill Arnold saying so long with the final again. The Golden Knights 77 and the defenders from Warrior Run 66.
Seen rivalries develop.
Rolling with it. Inside to Reeker. No good. There for the rebound. Smith. Layup, yes.
And rivalries continue.
Swings it outside. Now Colts driving the baseline. Stops.
We've seen heartbreak.
Todd DeBush wants the timeout. Bryant puts up a long range. Good.
And exuberation.
3, 2, 1.
We've seen stingy defense. And high-powered offense.
West penetrates the lane one more time, lays it up, unbelievable!
Plus, the most enthusiastic fans in York County. Over the years, York County fans have seen it all on Cable 4 York.